What's good, people? Here's how I understand it. I'm gonna start by quoting Drake from Trophies. I think that song like dates back to 2016 and say, did y'all boys not get the memo? I know I didn't. And since we're all interconnected, I know I can't be the only one who didn't get it. So this is kind of going to be a follow-up to my previous video where we're at a stage now. If you're not gonna rest, if you're not gonna decide to drop whatever's been on your plate, whatever's been on your shoulders, whatever you've been carrying, because for a lot of us, it's been carrying stuff and carrying burdens. It's like it's been business as usual. It's just been life. And we've shifted to a place where it's a new beginning from a new foundation that we had the necessity to build out of exhaustion, out of the desire for a more aligned, more peaceful, more fulfilling, more chill overall life. So, for us to understand that this is a new start, I feel like we're going to be in position where life is not going to give us a choice. We're going to have to rest. And I'm here to tell y'all there's two ways we can go about it. We can just accept it. I know for a fact that I've been putting my body through a lot in the past few weeks. I've been having trouble sleeping because I've been going so hard at the gym. And I made the mistake of thinking that one day of rest was enough. This is not what we're talking about right here. This is I'm talking vacation type of rests. And for some people, especially those who have jobs, like jobs where they have to be present in a place, if you can't really find the time to drop all of these things because responsibilities, obligations, we're all doing the best we can, we're all navigating through this life, taking on stuff and trying to find a balance where if you've been in a position that are not necessarily responsibilities, but you feel like you have to push through, do not risk burnout, do not risk injury. In the past few weeks, I've seen a lot of serious injuries around me. And these people have been forced to be in a position where they just have to do something else. Like, I'm talking broken legs, I'm talking like, eye injuries. Do not risk all of that. Just do your best to find some space, to use the space you've created in your life. Do your best to make the most out of it and recover and relax. There are so many options you have. I know, for instance, I have an acupressure mat, and especially when I have accumulated a lot of tension in my back, just laying down on it for 15 to like 20 minutes gets all of the endorphins flowing through my body and gives me a sensation of dropping the tension, of recharging. Do your best to find activities that are going to drop your cortisol levels, because the resting and recover part, Like what I'm talking about, it's part of the journey. Slowing down is part of the journey. Slowing down is the way forward. We've done a lot of pushing, a lot of pushing. I said in my last video, this is a time where you're going to have to be able to let yourself be carried, let yourself be supported by the divine. And this could take many forms. If you're isolated, it's just going to be, trusting your intuition a bit more and trying to be more observant of the many ways the divine is supporting you in your journey. For other people, it's going to be finding out about what you can ask or what you can receive more of, and it's going to take the form of maybe people coming up to you with offers, with opportunities, just people in general coming up to you and offering you to take stuff off your plate. Allow it. Please allow it. And if you're not, you know, you've not yet been in a stage where if it's still hard to receive help, know that the alternative is at this stage is going to be you being put in places or in situations where you're not going to have a choice. So whether you do it gracefully or you don't, at this stage, resting is a requirement. For however long, who knows? It depends on however long you need it. However long you need to get your head around the fact that it's a new world out there. It's gonna be a lot different. It's gonna be a lot different. It's been different, but most likely several of us we've switched from a position where we felt like underachievers, so we got like pretty good at doing a lot of things and staying resilient and tolerating and pushing, and you got a strong backbone. You're someone with a strong backbone. You're someone with boundaries. We know how to kind of set them with other people. We got to learn how to set them with ourselves. It's good to know that you have a lot in the tank, but you're not always supposed to push yourself to the limit. It's good to know that you can do this if you need to, but now it's about recognizing that you do not need to do this 24/7. It's something you have in your arsenal. It's not meant to be the usual pace. And we've pushed so hard to create this space. Sorry, I bumped into the table. We've pushed so hard to create the space, and it's like we still don't feel deserving. Bro, the amount of work we've been putting in, like, it might seem normal to you. It's not normal to a lot of people around you. We've been disciplined. I keep switching between you and we, whatever resonates. We've been disciplined. We've been paying attention. We've been doing the inner work. We've been doing all of that. All of that. All of it. Shouldn't be any type of guilt about resting. This is an old myth, and I see this a lot because I go to the gym and I talk with a lot of coaches, and I see a lot of people still kind of treat themselves without the necessary compassion. They know they're doing hard shit, and yet the compassion is still hard to get round to. It's still hard for some people to soften because we've been in so many situations where people have convinced you and us that being soft is being weak, and you couldn't let yourself be anything that's strong all the time, and that this was what determined your worth. I'm here to tell you today, this was, is, and will remain a lie. There is obviously strength in being resilient, but there is also a lot of strength in being vulnerable. And this is one of the main lessons we need to understand as a collective. There is so much power in softness. There is so much power in compassion, in resting, in sharing. You wouldn't treat, I feel like if you had friends in your position and you were good enough to support them, the things about pouring from an empty cup, we might have stopped pouring from an empty cup with other people. And now we got to learn to do this with ourselves. We got to let our bodies rest, our mind rest. And there are so many different places we can go to recharge. That you might think you don't really have the time. Make the time. Be honest with yourself. Look at the parts of your time, of your day, where it's like, because now it's almost a luxury position. If you're in a position where it's harder to rest than it is to actually get the work done, do you realize how powerful that is? That is a luxury position. It's kind of the opposite for a lot of people around you. It's more difficult for them to get shit done than it is to rest. We're the other way around. So let's learn to do that. Let's learn to restore the balance. Let's get the memo. Let's not go back to this point of exhaustion. I keep repeating it. I keep saying it, but I think this is what it's about. And I'm basically talking to myself as I film this. We're in this together. We've always been in this together. We're always going to be in this together because the world is going to need us at some point. I think it's called the year of the firehouse. Fire. What the fuck? Firehouse. Blah. Fire horse. The year of the fire horse. And I think it was Pam Gregory, or I don't know. I was I was watching a reading from another intuitive, and she said something about the fire horse moving decisively. There's gonna be times where it's go time. It's time to run the race, and there's gonna be time where, okay, we've kind of done a lot of walking, done a lot of running, done a lot of pushing through. Let's wait for the moments where it's time to get this shit started again. But for now, bask into the space you've created. Do not risk, please. Do not. This is important. I have a feeling like this is crucial. This is very important. The world needs you. Recharge, resource, because trust me, when it's gonna be time to move, we're gonna move decisively, with accuracy, and the kind of little pit stops of rest that we can get when it's time to get them. They're gonna be, in hindsight, so important that you'll be grateful, and everyone around you will be grateful that you've taken the time to rest, because you're gonna be so much more of yourself. You're gonna be able to give and receive what is necessary, and it's not going to cost you as much. It's not going to create so much of an unbalance. So this is kind of what I had to bring to the collective again. This is how I understand it. Get the memo. Chill, rest, relax. Love y'all.